We're doing the Blue Jay Roundup. Today is the 28th of June, so we're going to be covering off the Baltimore Orioles series that passed this weekend. It was a 4-gamer, and then Seattle, and then a couple other news items. I'm Adam, as always. I'm joined with Junior. Junior, are you ready?
Let's go!
Okay, Junior, so the Jays were in Baltimore, and they were able to pull out 3 out of the 4 wins here. Why don't you break down some of that for us? I got a sticker here for us that I'm going to pull up, but let us know what the series was like and how that felt.
Yeah, so this was coming off the sweep of Miami. Then they got themselves into Baltimore. Outside that Thursday game, it was almost a carbon copy of the last series they had with them last week, where they lost in extras on the Friday, and then they kind of mopped up shop on the Saturday and the Sunday. They pounded out 15 hits on Saturday, but that Trent Thornton didn't look too good on that Friday night, and especially once they started getting into the later innings, the guy just couldn't hit the strike zone. Obviously, That's what cost them that game. And then Sunday, Stripling just dazzled. He's moved to 3-4 on the season, and he looked really, really good. And Ryu was the Ryu we've come to know, moving to 7-4 or 8-4 in the year now. And he had a ton of offense behind him. So, they looked really good. If you were to look at the stats, you wouldn't have thought that Baltimore even got one. But there
was a lot of run support from the Jays.
Yeah, so they're humming right now. They had a nice little 5-game streak, came to an end, then they started another one. So
they're 7-4.
7-4. So they're moving in the right direction towards the deadline, just the end of the next month, towards the All-Star break, which is in about 2 weeks now. So
13th,
we got 2 weeks left of some decent baseball, some more opportunities to pad the stats and get these guys into the All-Star game and get some more W's.
Yeah, I like that. So we're coming up here. They're going to be facing Seattle. So let's pull up the breakdown here. So relatively, in their record, relatively close here. ERAs, kind of close. You look at hits, Seattle's hitting a lot and scoring a lot of runs as well. What do you think about these two teams matching up? I think it starts tonight.
Yeah, so
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, yeah. The stats that you look at here are Seattle, you have to remember, got off to a pretty strong start to start the year off. So a lot of those wins kind of piled up in the beginning of the season. But their pitching staff's had a bit of a tough couple of months right now, and they've been giving up a lot of hits. They've been giving up a lot of runs. They've been giving up a lot of walks. Their strikeout numbers are low. Their ERA is high, but they do have the saves there. So that's obviously a very important factor. And they have pitched, as they do have a few more games in the pocket compared to the Jays. But right now, with the way that the Jays pitching staff is and the guys that are coming back into the fold off of the DL, we'll talk about one of those soon. He's been kind of desperately missed. But then if you flip the coin and put the offense in there, you'll see kind of a tale of two tapes where the offense of the Jays is just head and shoulders above. I think we have a sticker for that. I don't know.
Yeah, I have. We got pitching. We got a pitching sticker here. Sorry. Swap out here.
Did I put in the wrong one? I may have put in the wrong one.
No, I think I just missed the pitching matchup one. I got it here for you. Both teams are 7-3.
Going in their last 10,
as well, yeah.
But you'll see just like the home runs, the OPS, the OBP, the extra base hits, the home runs. They're all leaning in the Jays' favor. So it's going to be a kind of interesting matchup over the next 3 days where we're not going to get their ace of the staff, which is nice. So we're going to end up with we're going to see Flexen on Tuesday. He's 6-3 with a 3.87 ERA. 50 strikeouts, so kind of low strikeout numbers. This isn't a guy who's a strikeout pitcher, right?
Yeah.
He's been a bit better in June. He was 1-1 with a 3.04 ERA, only 9 earned runs in the entire month so far, and the bulk of his strikeouts have come. But this is after a really bad April and a bad May. Well, a decent April, but still a bad May for him. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have Justice Sheffield, who was the crown achievement of the Cleveland draft that year, who got traded to the Yankees, and then the Yankees tossed him off after he was supposed to be the savior in New York. He's had a bit of trouble in Seattle. He's off to a 5-7 start this year with a 5.69 ERA. Low strikeout totals again, 2 at 54. He's had a bad April, a decent May, and his June has been pretty rough. He's 1-3 with a 7.58 ERA, giving up 8 home runs, 16 earned runs, 9 walks, and only 19 strikeouts. So he's off to a bit of a tough start.
Yeah.
And then we've got Yusika Kuche, who at the beginning of the year, in our preview, if you didn't see it, this guy's either a hit or an absolute miss. He's had a great June, 2-0 in 4 starts, 1.90 ERA. Giving up 5 earned runs, 3 home runs, but 10 walks, and the strikeouts are decent. So he's probably their bigger, maybe their second biggest strikeout pitcher that they've seen. But the great thing is that the stuff that these guys throw tend to be the stuff the Jays look for.
Yeah.
So those are the things that would kind of hold me, to where I want to see it, for this offense. And then for the Mariners, the guys to look out for are going to be Ty France and Mitch Haniger. So France is hitting 257, 7 home runs, 29 RBIs. And then Haniger is hitting 255 with 17 home runs and I think about 45 RBI. The last 15 games, they've combined for 7 home runs and 15 RBIs. But, both like them ball kind of middle and kind of middle away. Ty France likes the off-speed stuff, which he might get a lot of, and then Haniger he just looks for the fastball.
Okay.
And I'd say probably 80% of his hits are all fastball, which is good because all you got to do is mix your stuff up, and you can kind of neutralize the 2 best hitters in their lineup pretty easily, which the Jays tend to do is they like to mix their stuff up inside, out, up, down, left, right. They're all over the place. But just keep it out of the center of the strike zone, and you'll be okay.
I'm hoping that the run support will continue in this series because the Jays have looked very, very good, piling up a ton of runs here.
Yeah, they have.
Speaking of runs, we got the home run leader just absolutely just crushing it here.
Yeah, I mean, these numbers are just ridiculous.
It's outrageous.
Some people would say, well, we thought that Vladdy would be higher in walks. He's not because he's just hitting everything.
Exactly. He doesn't need to walk.
No, he doesn't. Everything that's coming anywhere close to him, he's smashing. And the only reason he's second in slugging is Tatis is just going on an absolute tear right now.
God. The other day, what, you had 3 home runs?
3 home runs
before the 4th?
Yeah. But you still look, he leads in home runs. He leads in RBIs. He's second in runs, third in hits. And then go average, slugging, OBP, and OPS. He's at the top or near the top in all of those categories. And then the most important one for All-Star break is he's at 2.7 million votes, which is way above anyone else.
Wow. And
then we've got Semien, who's there. So we're going to be sending a bunch of Jays to the All-Star game this year, which is really nice.
That's great news. Great news. Trade rumors. So I recently saw actually Biggio. Is this something that you'd consider as a fan of the game and for our team? And then what other trades do you have thoughts about?
Well, the one thing is the deadline's still about a month away, so a lot of the big rumors shouldn't be picking up until about the 1st of July, as usual. Okay. But when you have to look at our kind of what our team looks like right now, so Tellez got optioned to AAA, so did Jonathan Davis. Matt's is day-to-day on the COVID protocol, but the good news is he's coming back and he's pitching on Wednesday against Sheffield.
Okay.
He's 7-2 on the year with I think about a 4.26 ERA. And then on the 10-day, we still have Baraki, who's got that forearm. Late June is expecting. Danny Jansen's got the hammy. He should be early July. Delise has got the finger issue late June. And then on the 60-day, Kirk is still kind of rehabbing right now. Merriweather's got that oblique. He should be back early July. Carl Edwards and Cole are both kind of like TBD. And then Hatch should be late June. So we've got a lot of arms that are coming back.
Yeah.
And then we got Manoah, who just accepted his 5-game suspension. So he'll miss 1 or 2 starts. And then Nate Pearson is slowly working his way back through AAA Buffalo because of his groin injury. Yeah. But then when you start looking at the actual trade market itself, the usual names are always going to pop up early. The Sonny Grays. I mean, everyone knows that Colorado is going to dump as much as they can. You can see on here you got John Gray and then Jermaine Marquez. But I mean, any packages for a guy like Sonny Gray, who has not done very well in the AL East in the past, I'd probably stay away from him. And
Okay.
you're going to want to see the relievers that are going to come up on the back end. Now, the names that you're going to hear on our side, it's going to be Kirk, Miguel Geraldo, Rowdy Tellez, Kloffenstein, and then Aurelius Martinez, Will Robertson. It's going to be the guys who are kind of in that AA to kind of AAA range. You're not going to see any of the low or high A ball guys come up a lot. But I'd be very wary to trade anyone that low right now just because of the youth and kind of where they are. Obviously, there's a huge logjam that we're going through right now, and it's tough to kind of play around with these prospects, but there is a logjam. So, I mean, if you're going to look at trading a guy like Biggio, I think that would be a huge mistake. There's just too much upside to this, and you don't know what's going to happen with Marcus Semien next year. So if Semien's gone and you're moving Bo back to shortstop, and now you have a hole at second, what are you going to do now? Yeah. So you really need to think about that. And I think Biggio has a lot more upside than people might understand. The guy can play, the left side of the infield, and that's huge, middle to left. Then he plays the outfield. So he's like that power type of, utility guy that any like contending team is going to need.
Yeah. This is just something I was checking out earlier today, and I think the case that they were trying to make on this site was maybe trade him for a more rounded player that would fit kind of into that space.
Yeah, but it's tough. I mean, those guys, if you're going to try and get someone more well-rounded than him, it's not just going to be him in the deal.
You're going to have to give up something else, right?
And then, depending on age and, all that stuff, I mean, it's tough. But, I mean, you got to look at guys like Kendall Graveman, who's a relief pitcher in Seattle. We could use a guy like that in the bullpen. Yeah. Raisel Iglesias, who's in LA. He's a guy you look at. So, I mean, there's all those options there. And then, with Nate Pearson, it might be a good idea to pitch him the rest of the year out of the bullpen. The guy's got high plus fastball, 100+ miles an hour. He's mixing in that sinker a bit more and the changeup as well. So, I mean, you have to remember you do have arms coming back that are very serviceable, but you don't want your bullpen costing you games now because at the end of the year, you can't make them up.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the news here. I just wanted to really quickly just run down the reordered power rankings really quick and just get your the top 5 if you're okay with that.
Sure.
So the Giants at number 1, Astros at number 2, Dodgers at 3, Rays at 4, and the Padres at 5. That's as recent as yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know. If we were to play a game of who doesn't belong, I think the Dodgers wouldn't. They've been having a very tough stretch right now. So still to be number 5, in the top 5 of the power rankings, I think is a bit of that Homer-esque stuff that you're going to get of some of these beat writers.
This is from MLB.com.
Oh, so whoever's.
So I was a little surprised, but I thought maybe the fact that they were probably in the top 5 earlier on, they had them listed at 1, probably a few weeks ago is what it looks like.
Yeah.
And now they're probably thinking about their overall potential, maybe looking into the playoffs even.
Yeah, they could just be starting to fall, and that's why they're just not out of the top 5 yet.
Yeah.
And the Giants go on a roll, and then they just kind of disappear. The Astros, I mean, they were 6th last week, so they probably should still be in the top 5 considering how well they're playing.
Yeah.
But then to see the Dodgers are they at 5 or are they at 7 right now? I can't remember. Yeah, but again, these power rankings, they change all the time. It's basically whoever's hot right now. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've got the collection of the best players in the game right now. And you're you can finish the season number 1 in the power rankings and not even make the playoffs. So
exactly. Yeah.
Don't hold much weight on them.
Okay. Any other news that you wanted to just cover off here?
We're just stay tuned to us. We'll be coming back next week, but we're also going to do a halfway report. So basically break down each division halfway through the season, kind of highlights, lowlights, what they need to do to kind of get a good second second season surge to get where they need to go. And then, I think we're going to do something kind of special around the All-Star game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're working on that. So you guys stay tuned. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, like, and comment below what your thoughts are. What do the Jays need to do at the trade deadline? I want you guys to jump into the comments and let us know what you think. Obviously, bullpen is an issue that they need to address in order to be successful, hopefully into the postseason if we can get there. But let's see what happens. Easiest way to help grow our channel is to hit that like button. So please do that and make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on. For everybody here at Offside or Not Out of Bounds, I'm Adam.
I'm Junior. See ya real soon.